Let's get educated. That's why we're here, to bring you the stories impacting K-12 classrooms and college campuses. It's time for a little education.
Hello, everyone. I am Katie Patrick, joined by David Fio Razzo.
Yes, welcome.
Boom, 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 boom. I feel like that's how we should start doing
Imagine the fight
it.
song. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's the start of the week, so we got a lot of fight in us. So we're going to give you all the goods that we possibly can, and we're going to start with an Ohio school that was started by, basketball star Lebron James.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he does with his chalk.
Does he?
Well,
All
he
right.
didn't do so great because he's facing tough criticism after not
Why?
a single, not one, not a 3-point, nothing. A single 8th grader has passed the state's math test in 3 years. Not a single one has passed. David.
Okay. So here's
He did not hit it from downtown.
Yeah, here's the deal in this story. He's got a school, I Promise school, and officials are worried over discouraging tests. So several years ago, NBA god and all-time great LeBron James embarked on a noble journey. I know I admire him for trying to do something about education, but he was aiming to transform the lives of at-risk student and parents in his hometown of Akron, Ohio. So the school is called I Promise, the I Promise School. It opened in 2018. It's part of the school system there, but multiple years have gone by since the school's first class.
Yeah, if you take a look back to when these kids started in 3rd grade and now it's been years and they're down in 8th grade, the scores on every metric, every year, whether it was COVID or not, because I know that's the excuse. Everything for the next couple years will be, well, we had COVID in there. But dating previous to that, show that graphic again. Let's get the numbers prior to COVID. It's not like they were doing great. The best number they did have, though, was the 4th grade math in 2018-19 school year, where 39%. And that's nationally to have that is actually pretty good, because nationally they're in the 30s. So, but then it's just boom, 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 and it's just gotten worse and worse. And this year, 3rd through 8th, it's plummeting, just bad.
So that was 2018 is when the school started. That was really 2 years before COVID, or BC, as we now
BC.
refer to it, BC, before COVID. We talk about all kinds of things in our history, in our world, and our country today, but that was BC. So the school opened. Let's go to the video, and there's a little more explanation of what happened.
Now, that criticism comes after state test scores showed that none of the now rising 8th graders scored proficient in math.
Looking at the current 7th graders, and so for 3 years, not one child passed the state test in math, not one for 3 years.
It is discouraging.
Stephanie Rosa with the LeBron James Family Foundation says kids at the I Promise school started below grade level but are meeting required benchmarks. The school was created to serve those at risk and offers wraparound services that include affordable housing, job training, and even medical help.
Okay, so it's just discouraging.
It's discouraging.
Yeah,
that's what we're giving.
What have they been teaching, though?
That's the thing. When they say they were coming in, below grade level, at risk.
Yeah.
Okay, what has actually been done to improve that? Because if he's throwing all this, if LeBron James started a school, threw all this money at it, and we're always being told we need more money, we need more money. If we get more money, then we'll do better. And how much have they actually regressed?
Here's a perfect example of they got more money from one of the richest guys in America, right? So they got more money for the school. So that wasn't the issue. And Katie, we've talked about this so often. It comes down to, what do the administrators do with the money that comes in? How do they funnel that, channel that? Obviously, again, and this is just a parallel of the public schools. It goes right in line. It doesn't get to the kids, and it doesn't affect their education. It goes somewhere else, apparently.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention this quote from one of the reps from the I Promise school, because I think it kind of goes to the fact that the adults in the room who are supposed to be looking out for the children and helping the children, they still play the politics, or they play the PR campaign to make it seem like everything's great. So this rep said, when we started this work to wrap around students through education, we entered this partnership with Akron Public School for the long haul, because this work requires a long-term commitment, hard work, and a lot of love and care. And that's what we bring each and every day, because the I Promise School is more than a school. We're here for the ups and downs. And we'll continue to wrap around our students and their entire family so they can be successful in school and in life, no matter the challenges and obstacles that come their way. This type of covering our back ends, instead of saying we aren't doing enough. Clearly our test scores are showing we are not doing enough for our kids. We're going to rework things. We are going to get back to the drawing board. We are going to do better. This type of we are more than a school. Kumbaya, here we are. Don't forget to sign your checks, Mr. James. We will continue to take that money.
Really?
The test scores, if they go up, we'll see what happens.
Well, he did use the word wraparound a couple times.
Yeah, this wraparound.
Yeah,
but
just wrap around.
whoever this rep is also said that the staff are incredibly excited about the upcoming school year. I'm sure they are.
Well, the staff, they're probably getting paid very, very well.
Yeah, now they will be serving under Stephanie Davis, the new principal,
okay,
who's been described as the perfect person to lead to move the school forward. I guess Davis follows two other principals, the most recent head being Tawana Ham, who confirmed last month to be leaving that position, and then Brandy Davis, who led back in 2018. So this has been around 5 years, and we're on our third principal.
We've got
Always a good sign.
a revolving door at the principal, in the principal position here, and I wonder why there's no details on that. But at least they're doing a good job of the old wraparound, Katie. But still to come, friends, a Nevada district approves a new sex ed curriculum that completely bends the knee to the trans movement. We'll show you the latest nonsense that they're teaching kids. Get ready. That's coming up.
All right, we're off the basketball court of schools, but we are basically out in Sin City.
Oh,
now.
boy.
Go Sin City area.
Okay.
Reno is still in this considered Sin City area. So anyway, the language police are out and about. They're attacking the Sin City state of Nevada. So Nevada Public School District approved a new sex ed curriculum for elementary students following hours of public comment that they will now use new phrases to refer to males and females. Because, male and female are just, I guess, too complicated.
Geez. Oh, my goodness.
Yes. This is the Washoe County School District Board in Reno, Nevada, who approved the new sexuality, health, and responsibility education. SHARE, as they're calling it. SHARE. So it's a curriculum material for 4th and 5th grade students, and they passed it by a 5-2 vote. The new lessons will include the phrases boys and people with a penis, and, of course, girls and people with a vulva.
Okay. Are they different?
You can't just say girls, boys.
You can't. Okay.
No, that's it. Can't do that. We now must just boys, girls. But no, we need to overcompensate for things.
Because what they're saying is boys, and I hate using this language, guys. I hate talking about this.
Yes, we do.
But our kids are hearing it. The children, the youngest children among us are hearing this in the public schools, at libraries, on TV, in their social media. So boys and people with a penis, what does that mean? That means girls can have penises, I guess, because if there's just boys and girls. So they're saying, so girls and people with a vulva. So that means people who identify as girls, they can have a vulva.
Oh, it's
so confusing.
Whatever they want. Let's be honest.
So, Katie, again, is this 4th and 5th grade?
4th and 5th grade.
4th
for their
and 5th,
lessons.
And
the 4th grade.
For the record, how old is that? 4th and 5th graders?
You're 10.
10 years old?
Well, 9, 10, and then 11.
9 years old.
10
years
11.
old.
You're turning the different. So 9, 10 to 11 for 4th and 5th.
And guys, if you think that some of the kids, because they're being told whatever at home and they're prepared for this, they're not. They're soaking this in, because there's a really sad picture in the article that shows you how deep the indoctrination goes. It's these kids fighting with the communist fist, and they're chanting whatever. And the poster that one of the girls is holding up says, "Sex ed saves lives." Sex ed saves lives. So the kids are being conditioned that they need this quote education. Now, you and I, we're going to put this in air quotes.
Well,
So,
everything now is you must do it to save their lives.
Right, saves lives.
It's ever since the TV show Heroes. Did you ever watch it? I never
Heroes,
did.
no.
But it was always, the phrase was save the cheerleader, save the world. It's like save the sex ed language to save the children to save the world. That's where we're at. Okay, so public comment time at the meeting, back to the school board meeting, that was used to discuss and consider the changes to that proposed fourth grade draft lesson. So in fourth grade, students will be taught about their bodies, friendships, and puberty, while in fifth grade, the students will be taught about puberty, how a pregnancy happens, liking and loving, they put that in air quotes, liking and loving, communication, boundaries, of which, let me just say, apparently there are none.
Boundaries.
Boundaries,
Wow.
because the consent, sexual assault, and reproductive anatomy. The fifth grade curriculum also uses the term assigned sex at birth, male, and assigned sex at birth, female. They're just trying to twist everything that we know
Yep.
to be truth
Yep.
and fact.
Exactly.
Males, females.
Can we also
Done. Can we move on?
Can we state the obvious here, Katie Petrick? Can we just say whenever you don't conform to this language change, whenever you use the word assigned, when it comes to how a human being is born, you are rejecting God and the biblical worldview. His creation of all things, creation of mankind, male and female. You are rejecting God when you say, okay, assigned. That means a doctor assigned these kids at birth or whatever, or their parent assigned them. No, God assigns and designs and creates, period. So this language is rejecting the true God of the Bible and the worldview that we believe in.
We need to make a shirt that says, when you use the term assigned, you make an assigned out of you and me. If you know what that,
Making assigned?
do you know that?
Oh.
I can't cut off part of the word, but
Okay.
you know what I'm saying.
So I've heard that with assume, but not assign.
I'm making a new thing.
A new thing. Let's start it, Katie.
We're going to do it.
You heard it first
We're gonna
here,
bring
ladies
it
and
in.
gentlemen.
We're
You
gonna
heard it
bring
first on
in.
Educated.
Anyway, part of this curriculum that they have, here's some samples. Let's just give some sample
Oh,
of this curriculum.
help us,
So they have
please.
a slide that they would give the children,
Fourth and
show
fifth
it to
grade.
them, saying, what do you remember? Can you name a body part that most girls and people with vulvas have? But you just dissect that question. Can you name a body part that most girls
Okay.
and people with vulvas have? Again, fourth and fifth graders. Okay.
Okay.
And then they say, vagina, clitoris, vulva. Okay. Can you name a body part that most boys and people with a penis have? A penis, testicle, scrotum. Yep. Can you name a body part that both types of bodies have? A urethra, anus, nipples. Do they have a brain? Do both of them also have a brain? Just wondering.
9 years old, 10 years old.
This is what they are putting
Your schools.
into Nevada,
your
Sin
tax dollars.
City area.
Well, and what happens in Nevada doesn't stay in Nevada, as we know.
That is true. Now, when we come back, an Oregon school district is teaching students a variety of gender identities, such as metagender. Yes, metagender. As well as the difference between sexual orientation and romantic orientation. More language stuff going on next.
Today's show is sponsored by our friends at MyPillow. Save up to 66% on pristine quality bedding, towels, slippers, signature pillows, and much more when you use the code EDUCATED. That's EDUCATED. Educated. Support this show and a great American company.
All right, more language nonsense. It's language day here
No.
at Educated. Yes. Metagender. Yeah. Okay, wait. Demi-romantic.
Okay.
Okay.
What
Yep.
is this?
Oh, I'm not done yet. Pan-romantic.
Pan-romantic.
Yes, you
All
got
right.
it. Okay. Well, we have an Oregon school district who's teaching the sophomores, 10th grade students, the 15 and 16-year-olds,
Okay.
David.
Okay.
A variety of gender identities, such as the ones I just said, metagender.
What is that?
Yes, I'll give
Okay,
you.
you'll get
I'll
to it.
get to
All
it
right.
all.
The
All right.
suspense is killing me.
It is, I bet. But they are
Jeez.
more importantly. I mean, you need to know the difference between sexual orientation and your romantic orientation. And yeah, they're giving you different gender identity. This whole you're assigned gender,
Assigned.
you're slash sex at birth, according to them.
Assigned.
Then there's gender expression, and then there's sexual orientation, and now there's romantic orientation. David, I mean, we're up to 5 of these big categories now, in addition to all of the pronouns that you're supposed to use, and then here's some of the other language that you were wanting to know about.
Okay.
They're talking about how people, I guess, but the teachers are talking to the students about how people, they can feel like different ways romantically about people, such as pan-romantic. Okay,
right.
So if you are pan-romantic, according to them, it's someone who's romantically attracted to someone regardless of their gender. But David, we don't even know what that means because
No.
gender's in their mind.
Right.
Not a thing, so that could be anything. So what does that mean then? Okay, then there's demi-romantic, and that's just when someone doesn't feel romantic attraction until a close bond is formed.
You know what? Can I comment on the very first one there?
You-
Hetero-romantic?
Yes, if you're hetero-romantic.
But this is the thing. It's a romantic attraction to people of a different gender than your own. So that's saying
Oh,
you
that's
can make a judgment. You can make an observation that someone else is a different or the opposite gender. You might be wrong because they might not identify as what you observe them to be. If you're saying they're a different gender,
They just, I think.
Am I
think they
following this?
Well, no one can follow.
trying to
it.
keep up
I
here,
think they're
Katie.
shooting themselves in the foot because they're going to look at this and think, well, yeah, like heterosexuals, because all those bigots think that there's only males and females. So we're going to call it hetero-romantic. But according to their own definition, there are like 92 genders or 182 different genders. So then anyone who is different, attracted to someone for the romantic part other than their own, it is like being heterosexual.
But you've
It's
got-
the same thing.
Yeah,
I don't know why, as they're saying, I don't know why it's different.
every one of these have to make an assumption. You've got to make an assumption of the other person.
There's the assume
You're making an assumption.
out of you and me. We're getting T-shirts
They're
that
assuming.
just are putting assigned.
They're
and assum.
assuming how they're
Assuming
assigned. They're assuming how
they're
people were assigned. Jeez, I don't even know if I'm making sense anymore.
They're not. Okay, let's look at some of the other things that they have on their little slides. Okay, so this romantic orientation. So now it's not just, hey, sexual orientation, because apparently that attraction is only for, I'm guessing, engaging in the actual sexual acts, but what's their definition of that anymore? So you can have a separate romantic orientation. So now you need to know, because this is how it's like you have to identify yourself. So I need to identify myself to you, David, apparently.
So I know.
with how my pronouns are.
Jeez.
I need to give you my sexual orientation, but I also need to give you my romantic orientation
Okay.
because they may not be all the same thing.
This all must be communicated, right?
This is the language that they're trying to make it be used for always and forever, especially, and they're using our children as the guinea pigs to see if it's going to work.
And you can't wear badges, name badges with your pronouns or how you identify, because that can change from day
You
to
can
day.
yeah, you just,
right?
hello, my name is.
So you can't
Put
even
up new
wear
ones.
something that will let other people know who they're attracted to.
So that's the thing. You can't be you because the you is always changing, and it's just.
And so you're saying you can't be all that you can be? You
No.
can't be you.
You
just
cannot
be
be-
you. You just everybody.
You do you, boo.
Yeah, you just
but
be you.
Don't
just
do
be you. Just.
because that's not good enough. All right, well, anyway, still to come. When it comes to living and retiring comfortably, Americans have some big numbers in mind for how much moolah they will need to finally stop working during their golden years, if ever that day does come, David. Now, how much would you actually need to retire? Think about that number and come right back.
If you have a smartphone, tablet, Roku, or Apple TV, consider downloading the Freedom Project Media app. It's 100% free and includes all of our weekly shows, plus lecture series, archive programs, and award-winning animated videos for families like the Presidential Minute, Battles of America, and Heroes of the West. Don't rely on the social media giants to keep you informed. Simply download the Freedom Project Media app from your app store and allow notifications. And we'll let you know when a new video is ready.
Okay, let's just look at the headline, which is surprising. To feel comfortable, and I think we need to define comfort, Americans think they need a $233,000 salary and nearly $1.3 million for retirement. All right, that's what, according to this, Americans think, but here's what experts say. Let's talk about this. When it comes to living and retiring comfortably, now, I think, most people are going to define that word differently. What are you most comfortable with? What kind of lifestyle do you want to live? What do you want to do with the money that you have? So you're going to define comfort different. So there's some big numbers is what people are expecting. Now, a lot of people blame high inflation, which peaked at 9.1% in June of last year. And the pace of price increases has subsided since then, but the surveys show how many Americans feel they're falling short of what they need to get by. Just look at that. So overall, we've got the first category there. This is people citing the economy for lack of financial security. 26% have high or revolving debt. 41% insufficient retirement funds. Now, this is what they believe is insufficient. Rent, housing affordability only at 25%. Emergency savings insufficient, 42%. Katie, what I don't know, what's that? Emergency savings? No, I'm kidding. But a lot of people think that's different. People have different opinions on this. High inflation, 63% believe high inflation. Rising interest rates, the economic environment, and other is 9%. So a lot of different, as you can see, a lot of different people look at different categories, but they have different views on what's necessary.
Yeah, so that's the thing that's interesting. You keep this graph up here. The biggest percentages, and this is just characteristic of human nature, we blame everyone else. It's the high inflation. It's not because of my own choices to put money into a retirement fund or into having an emergency savings. It's that high inflation. It's the economic.
And number
economy.
two, yeah,
it's the economy. It's the economy. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. This is what we do, and I get it. And I'm not. Inflation is awful. Like, it's not good. But there are many, many, many things you can do to alleviate that, to adjust things. But again, it's all personal preference, all how they want to do it.
I don't understand how people think they need over $1 million.
Yeah, that's the thing that gets me.
Can
what
we
are the
see
numbers?
this? Yeah.
Let's look at the numbers.
Here we go. Now, to feel rich, what does that mean, Katie Patrick? To feel like you're rich. Not that you're actually rich, but to feel like you're rich. If you live in America, you are richer than what? 95% of the world. Anyway,
it might be more than that even.
Probably more.
Yeah, but we don't have a lot of gratitude, but perspective, we don't have a lot of perspective.
So overall, $483,000. That's what most people think they need for an annual income to feel rich or achieve financial freedom.
Can we annual income, people? This is not like, oh, this is how much money I need to have for my retirement, or I should, be working on getting there. No, this is how much annual income.
What are these people spending money on?
Not even their wealth. It's like their actual income that's coming in. Meaning you have all this other money that you should have in your savings, in your retirement, in your mutual funds, wherever you're putting your money. But annually, I need this much money. Can we put that graphic back up? It's staggering.
Look at the differences, the breakdowns.
I could break it like all these different groups down, and it makes sense. But the Gen Xers being at 575,000.
What?
Yeah.
Well, Gen Z has the lowest expectations. I wonder why that is.
Well, yeah, they don't understand money yet. Well, they still don't. Millennials don't understand. But here's what I like. Boomers get it. Boomers get it a lot more. They're a lot closer to the silent generation. The Gen Xers makes perfect sense to me when you break it down. Stereotypically, this is not you, the individual, in your given generation, but stereotypically on these generations, that makes sense to me. Because that's how Gen Xers do.
Well,
come at me with it.
There are 2 points in the article that they make at the end as far as advice from the so-called financial experts. One of them is take small steps and invest. But they say invest consistently. I don't think a lot of people, Katie, are there. With all the prices going up and they haven't saved in the past. Now You're just trying to maybe a little better than paycheck to paycheck, but to invest consistently, I'm not sure if that's realistic for everybody, but they say take small steps. And the next one is live within your means.
What does that mean, David?
That's-
I want what I want, and I need it
know.
now.
We have not
and I
been-
deserve it.
We've not been
I feel like.
raised with that education as far as living within your means. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't know what that. A lot of young people have no idea what that means. Because look at the credit card debt.
I mean, oh gosh. Honestly, like you look at all those people saying that that's how much you need as an annual income for you to feel comfortable. Now, anyone who apparently answered that, saying a number way above that, that's insane to me. I feel like I live very comfortably, and I am absolutely nowhere near that number. I work at a nonprofit, everyone. Let's be real. I work at a apple orchard in the fall. I feel comfortable. That's the thing. It's all about perspective and people's preferences.
And how much you think you need. And part of that is the influence of the world, how much the world and Hollywood and the commercials you see on TV, they try to convince you this is what you need to feel comfortable or to live a good life. And they're just a bunch of lies for the most part.
Exactly. Now, I would love to sit and talk about this type of stuff all day
We
long.
could,
because
we
this
could.
this type of living within your means and everything. This just
You could do a
economics
show on
is a
that.
fun topic for
You
me.
could help a lot of
Economics is
people
just
with that, yeah.
fun to me. I'm not Dave Ramsey. I know who he is now, but you know. Anyway, if you are a fan of this show, please, if you could, like, comment, share, subscribe. Send David some kind words. He could always use them, you know.
Please have courage and be kind.
There we go. Don't assume anything and don't assign anyone.
Yeah, don't assume or
anything.
assign anymore.
No more. All right. Well, for David and
That's
myself,
good.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And thank you for supporting what we do. Until next time, stay educated.